That was really fantastic.
Was that good? You get it?
Is it this camera over here? It's my camera.
I said to my mum, I think I'm gay, and she didn't pick up on the word gay, she picked up on the word think.
So I grew up in New Hampshire.
Okay.
It was actually a pretty tough environment to come out.
It took 3-4 years for my parents to finally become comfortable with it.
If your skin is a different color, that is something that can't be concealed. But if you're LGBT, it's very, very easy to become invisible.
I started my career 25 years ago. We didn't have celebrities, we didn't have business figures that were known for being gay.
Many of the words and concepts that we use today simply didn't exist back then. It was a much more lonely place.
Bernstein was a more conservative firm, so I did once again kind of go back into the closet for a little while.
You don't want to stand out too much.
You want to fit in. You really just want to fit in. You already feel awkward starting a new job, and the last thing you need is one extra thing to make you stand out.
When people see my rings and they're like, oh, what does your husband do? And I have this moment of pause, right? Because we're always coming out when you meet someone new. We're always, always, always coming out.
No matter how good you are at acting, I think people can tell when you are keeping a lot of yourself away from them.
And here I am as a 40-year-old man standing in front of all my peers. I actually had butterflies because I realized I was coming out to my coworkers. And I was wondering, after this meeting, how are my peers going to view me? Would they be accepting? And that's still very real.
And it's your greatest fear is being deserted because of this, that you're somehow wrong or different in a bad way.
I found this resource called the Gay Christian Network, and I'm like, wow, there's other gay Christians.
Right.
Like, how is that even possible?
There is this belief that you cannot be someone that's a member of the LGBT community because God condemns that.
I thought in order to be one, I had to give up the other.
The other, right.
And then one day it finally hit me that I'm okay internally. I'm okay with God.
Right.
You mentioned that your sister came out, I think, in '91. What was that experience like?
We were always very close.
Mm-hmm.
And so my initial reaction was, I can't believe I didn't know it. Mm-hmm. So I was feeling sort of stupid. But of course, it isn't about you. It's about your colleague or your family member.
When I told my mom about it, and she was not happy about it at all. And she asked me, so why did I choose to be gay?
I was outed at work, and it was not a pleasant experience. I'd just been promoted to manager, and someone in my group didn't appreciate that. Found out I was gay, and had sent a letter to our head of HR back in 2005, basically demanding that I be fired.
So this is all news to you?
This is all brand new news to me. I had no idea what was going on. And my stomach is just turning in knots, and I don't remember who it was, said, Doug, it's okay. It's absolutely okay. We didn't hire you because you were or were not gay. We hired you for your skill set. Just right then and there told me that this is the place that I need to be.
I'm a principal at this firm. I've been here 10 years. I run a successful practice.
Crazy ideas only come from people being comfortable bouncing things off of each other. And that comes from just, different approaches.
And I want people to see that being out is something that works and is possible for people in all lines of business at this firm.
Most people, at least in the workplace that I've come across, they're really good people.
They are.
And
well-intended, yeah.
There's just a lot of unconscious stuff there that, for better or worse, we have. I have it.
I have it. Yes.
So,
but the challenge again is it's really getting people to see that differences are okay.
Yeah.
And as adults, you think we would have learned that as kids? Not necessarily.
I think the other thing to realize is that we're probably always going to be slightly biased, but as long as you recognize that fault and you can think, there are steps I can take to make sure that I can make a decision and try to remove as much bias as possible, that's where I think it's critical.
I feel like we're very spoiled in New York City because it is not like this everywhere else.
It was a very interesting experience coming from New York. In New York, when you have Pride Week, it's Pride.
I remember I ran into a colleague of mine in a bar, and he was so scared, right, that I would let other people know.
Wow.
And I realized that some people are still going through this.
Being gay. I think it's a taboo in Asia for, I think, the older generation, so I tend to be careful about it.
We have offices where actually being LGBT is against the law, and that's where the firm can really push those envelopes.
What AB is trying to do is to be one firm, whether it's in Taipei or in Zurich. That means having a common set of values that inform who we are and how we behave and how we treat one another.
Whatever floors we occupy, whatever building we're occupying, that is the embassy. And we will make sure our employees are safe and feel included and feel valued within our walls.
My name is Yuka, and I'm an ally.
I am an ally.
I'm an ally.
And I'm an ally.
You're there to be a listener.
I try to be a safe space for individuals, whether in my personal life or in my corporate life.
I was super nervous coming into AB. I had in the back of my mind, if this is the place for me, then I'm moving on. I started noticing the rainbow flags and the inclusion stickers that people have on their offices, and I'm like, wow, like I am shocked a little bit.
I put up the ally sticker and sign at my desk, and I really do encourage anyone that has a question to come. My boss has called me into his office to ask about different things that he didn't really understand, like why are they adding a letter to LGBTQ? What does this mean? And I don't think he ever did that before I had the sticker and the sign.
It's been a conversation starter in a way that I think helps build relationships outside of your day-to-day. I'm working to solve this problem, but to get to know people in a more holistic way.
The more people that you interact with, the more it cannot be walked back, because it becomes then a personal issue.
I went to Stonewall whilst I was here this weekend. 1969 is not that long ago. You know, that's within living memory of where we were fighting for just to be accepted.
If we're not pushing forward, there's really a huge risk that you go backwards.
Something I worry about a lot is that it's like, oh, well, we got gay marriage, so we're good. So I think it's just really important to remain cognizant that things can go backwards as fast as they go forwards.
I think it's definitely been very encouraging to see companies stepping in where our government has fallen short.
You can't live a lie in your workplace. We ask too much of you.
Right.
We hired you for who we thought you were or could be.
Right.
And if this is a step along that road, then it's just called growing up.
It getting better means being more comfortable talking about what I did on the weekend and inviting people at the water cooler into my life.
I think that as long as we keep moving in that direction, we can't fail. And I hope, my strongest hope is that one day it doesn't matter, it's a non-issue.
I think there's just such momentum around it now, which I don't know if we can turn it off, which I love.
I love that you said that.
It's one of the reasons why I want to come up here and do this is, it's not about me anymore. It's about what I can do for that person that is scared.
That is terrific, guys.
That was awesome.
So while we're thank you guys. Thank you.
You were awesome.
You were
nervous.
I was so nervous.
I thought that was just the warm-up. Aren't we going to start all over again?
No, that was rehearsal.
That was rehearsal, yeah.